Oh, let me get.
Where's that being projected from? The projector. Oh, I see.
Here, you know what? I'm going to use this.
So they shifted through a mirror. That's it, just.
When we go to do the spiel too, we can turn that. We can turn the lights down in the house. There you go. Well, you have the French accent too. Oh, Hey, Joe. No, you don't have to wear telly for it. Oh, he's passing out the crackers now. All right, we have to make an announcement not to use the groggers right now. Before you do this. What? Never. I forgot how the teapot go. This way? Or is it this way? I don't remember. Okay, I'm assuming we're live.
So I feel like I'd be willing to say it's
Yeah.
Are you using that mic?
I'm going to use this
Can
mic.
you move this one more between us?
Yep.
Gatos, please. The only problem is if my glasses start to sleep, I have to put them up and burn my face.
Sounds like a personal problem to me. Okay, let's do it.
All right, we ready?
Okay, I'm not turning any pages.
Hag Purim! It is so wonderful to see all of you here. One of our last big services in this sanctuary was Purim of 2020. And so it's so wonderful to be back here for 2022 to share with all of you and to have you be our guests this evening. I'm going to make one request before we fully begin our service, that you hold the groggers on your lap or you put them on the floor during the service, because there's not going to be really any mention of he who shall not be named at this point. And without further ado,
Mesdames et messieurs, bienvenue and welcome. It is with the deepest pride and greatest pleasures that we welcome you here tonight. Now we invite you to relax in your homes or in our sanctuary as Shir Hadash proudly presents your service.
Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet kulam gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet kulam gam yachad, gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet kulam gam yachad. Hine ma tov u'manayim shevet kulam gam yachad.
Oh, that's my steer.
This is you.
With see Berkeley first because it's this slide.
Oh. Okay. Okay.
Please rise.
ברכו את אדוני המבורך, ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד.
It's time to pray.
It is time to be seated. So one of the things that we do here at Shir Hadash frequently is we take the time to think about the things that are important to us. And earlier this year, our board met together and we talked about our core values. And one of the core values was prayer, worship, and community. And I'd like to share with you the importance of prayer within Jewish tradition, within Shir Hadash, according to Disney. See, there are many reasons why prayer is important to Judaism. Many reasons. First, there's the symbolism. All the things about the symbolism, the symbols, we have our Ner Tamid, we have our candlesticks. Now, the other thing that's important is that prayer is a chance for us to connect ourselves to generations past and go to infinity and beyond. Prayer is a chance to just let it go. Say Hakuna Matata. And as the genie in Aladdin says, be yourself. Now we learn from Rabbi Abraham Joshua Heschel the idea of radical amazement, the idea that we should experience God and Wonderland. Now, with the right intention and the right purpose, we can ensure that we are not sleeping beauties when we pray. So with that in mind, it's time to move on to the next part of our service. Please rise.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Shema Yisrael Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'om Va'ed.
You may be seated.
ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם.
On this holiday of Purim, we also celebrate the Esthers and the Vashtis of today. Women who speak out because they know it is the right thing to do, who identify those in pain and bring it to public attention, who commit to awareness and education. We pray for the day that all will be free from hatred and violence, and honor those Esthers and those Vashtis who take the risks and show the courage to fight for justice and peace.
Now it's time to rise for the tefillah.
Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lalai, yalalai, lalai. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu ve'imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah. El Hagadol, Hagiboy ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Ve'Konei HaKol, Ve'Zocher Chasdei Avot, Ve'imahot, Umevi Geula Livnei Vnehem, Lema'an Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer Umoshia Umagen. Baruch atah Adonai Magen Avraham Be'ezrat Sarah. Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai Mechayei HaKol atah Rav Lehoshia. Mechakel Chaim Bechesed Mechayei HaKol berachamim rabim. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות, ומי דומה לך? מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיי הכל.
You may be seated.
על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. על הניסים ועל הפורקן ועל הגבורות ועל התשועות ועל המלחמות שעשית לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה.
We take some time to pray silently.
Shalom bimromam hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shalom bimromam hu ya'aseh shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Shalom bimromav hu
Sure, I get the costume where I have to keep my hands up the whole time. Now I know why Moses had those two guys helping him out. So in a few minutes, you're going to see tonight's show. So I thought I'd warm you up with a bit that some of you may remember from The Tonight Show. You'll remember, some of you will remember, Karnak and his ability to just know the answers to questions without ever having seen them. So tonight, I will give you more to kayak. because there's more to kayak than meets the eye. Here is the first envelope. 1 light year. 1 light year. I think you used to do it that way. 365.25 days of drinking low-calorie beer. A fig Newton. A fig Newton. One kilogram of falling figs. A semicolon. A semicolon. Half of a large intestine.
That just hurts.
Two paradigms. 2 paradigms. $8 nickels. We're getting there. Lederhosen. Lederhosen. 1,000 cubic centimeters of wet socks. And now, I hold in my hand the last envelope. A straight line. A straight line.
Don't burn it.
I've seen the show.
Don't burn it.
Okay. A straight line. The shortest distance between 2 jokes. Now we will continue with the Aleinu. It is time to stand.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שהוא שם חלקנו לאחד את שמו, וגור עלינו להמליך מלכותו. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא.
You may be seated.
על כן נקווה לך, על כן נקווה לך, על כן נקווה לך, אדוני אלוהינו, על כן נקווה לך, על כן נקווה לך, על כן נקווה לך, אדוני אלוהינו. לראות מהרה בתפארת עוזך, לתקן עולם, לראות מהרה בתפארת עוזך, Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da. Ya da 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 da.
The congregation offers its condolences to Eileen Walk on the death of her husband and our member Ron Walk, to Jose de la Riva on the death of his grandmother Maria de la Riva, and to Jerry Marks on the death of his friend Israel Gans. We remember loved ones whom death has recently taken from us: Marianne Riley, Adina Neer, Tamara Noten, David Berman, Judy Friedman, Mimi Levy, James C. Price, Colette Kaplowitz, David Corman, J. Guadalupe Chavez, Dr. David K. Burke, Elizabeth Ludwig, Bernard Kennis, Charles Stone, Rima Zareski, Leonard Popowitz, Mark Elliott, Esther Young-Wedner, Marjorie Hart, Roseanne Lewitt, Morton J. Friedberg, Estelle Levine, Larry Lisenby, and Mark Franklin. If there are names that you wish to add prior to Kaddish, if you are in the sanctuary, please call out their names now. If you are watching on the live stream, take a moment and speak the names of your loved ones aloud. Zichronam livracha, may all of their memories be for a blessing. We rise now for Kaddish Yatom, the mourner's Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, ve'alma divrach kirutei v'yamlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon, uv'chayed chol Beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv imru. Amen. Yehei shmei rabba mivorach leolam u'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpo'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudesha b'richu. Le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nechemata. Damiran ba'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehei shalom rabba min shemaya v'chaim. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'imru. Amen. Osei shalom b'mromav. Hu yasei shalom. Aleinu v'al kol Yisrael v'al kol yoshvei tevel v'imru. Amen. Be seated.
Following the conclusion of our closing song, please give us just about 5 minutes to reconfigure the bima a bit and for our cast members to come on up, and then we will continue. We'll do the blessing for the Megillah reading, because that'll take place within our Spiel, and then we'll have our Spiel. So I invite you to rise as we sing our very serious closing song.
Adon olam, Hashem alach, beterem kol yetzir nivra, Adon olam, leit nasam, vechefo kol levado, imloch nora,
Purim. All right, so give us just a second to change around a few things, and then we'll do the blessing.
It's like I can't look down. I can't. It's like I can't sit down until I find the chair. I'm of no use. If I move, I know. I'm just very soon. Anyone need more stuff?
I know we need at least one because I showed.
I was thinking right back in the
Some of them are not here.
spot by the curtains. Yeah, me too. We shouldn't have started so early. Thank you.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
I can't bend down. Okay, you want me to put it here? Yeah. With these things on our heads, we're useless. We can't move. We're like. Take your mask off. Sure.
Once upon a time in the land of Persia, the provincial town of Shushan was ruled by King Ahasuerus. After 3 years of his rule, he sought to hold an extravagant celebration for 180 days filled with food, drink, and the latest dance craze, the Cupid Shuffle. He invited nobles and princes from 127 provinces, from India to Ethiopia.
Baruch atah Adonai קידשנו במצוותיו, וציוונו המקרא מגילה. ברוך אתה, אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שעשה ניסים לאבותינו בימים ההם בזמן הזה. ברוך אתה, אדוני אלוהינו מלך העולם, שהחיינו וקיימנו והגיענו לזמן הזה.
ויהי בימי אחשוורוש, הוא אחשוורוש, המולך מהודו ועד כוס, 27 ומאה מדינה, בימים ההם ישבת המלך אחשוורוש על כוס מלכותו, כיסא מלכותו, אשר בשושן הבירה, בשנת 3 למלכו, עשה משתה לכל שריו ועבדיו. אל פרס ומדי הפרטם מים שרי המדינות לפניו.
That was the most amazing festival. 6 months of celebration. Celebration of what, you might ask?
What were we celebrating, Your Majesty?
I'm so glad you asked. Celebrating, well, me. And now that our nobles and princes have wined and dined with me, I want to hold another celebration for the entire kingdom.
The entire kingdom, Your Majesty? You know that there are shortages everywhere in party supplies. Shelves have been empty for months now.
Well, that's why, when planning for our first feast, I asked you to buy in bulk. Invite everyone. And make sure you invite Vashti. After all, she is my dancing queen.
Mamma mia! We will be sure to let her know, Your Majesty.
Shushan town, it's a boring kingdom. Every day, like the one before. Shushan town, full of simple people, waking up to say,
My queen!
there goes the king, his name is Ahasuerus. He's just as pompous as can be. And he rules all this land, and he has so many fans, with the exception of his queen Vashti.
Look,
There she goes, that queen is so peculiar. I wonder if she's feeling well. With a dreamy, far-off look, and she's married to a schnook. What a puzzle to the rest of us is queen. There must be more than this provincial life.
Are you going to the ball, my queen?
A ball?
Yes, your majesty has invited everyone for a celebration. He requests your presence.
My presence? I'm sure he wants me to get all dolled up and dance for him, right? Tell him that I'm done being paraded around for everyone to gawk at me. Oh, isn't this amazing? Life could be much better for me. And I just want to tell him that this story won't get really grim till chapter 3.
Your Majesty, the Queen refuses to join you.
Ah, that's it! How dare she disobey me? Tell her to pack her bags.
There must be more than this provincial life.
Over the next year, King Ahasuerus grew angrier and angrier. Some would even say beastly, as he processed losing Vashti. He found himself worrying less and less about his hygiene. No regular haircuts, daily shaving regimen, etc., much like the experience of many men as they sheltered in place during the pandemic. And don't get me started on meals. The silverware became quite lonely in the drawers as the king began to dine by scarfing food down with his bare hands. As the days grew longer and Ahasuerus grew lonelier, he eventually came to his senses.
I can do so much better than this Vashti. Let it be known that I'm looking for a new queen. I am looking for a new queen, and every maiden has the chance for romance and to share in my kingdom.
A familiar melody began to play.
Young women came from all around the kingdom, each one with hope to stake their claim. For a year they did prepare, buying makeup, fixing hair. Only one of them would light the royal flame. Esther, who's she? An orphan beauty, just like a child to Mordecai. Esther and he were really cousins, cared for her since both her parents died. I'll enter Esther in the beauty pageant, prettiest girl I've ever seen. If you do just as I say, hide your Jewishness away, I'm absolutely sure you'll be the queen. So Esther won the contest and became the queen of all the land. She'd never have imagined that a day would come when she would have to take a stand.
And there you have it. Esther became the queen of Shushan. Meanwhile, as Esther was getting settled in her new home, Mordecai found himself witness to a plot to kill the beastly king.
Bayamim hahem uMordechai Yoshev b'shar hamelech Kotzav Bigtan v'teresh Shnei Sorisei hamelech Mishomrei hasav Vayivakshu V'yukash lishloach yad B'melech Achashverosh Vayivodah hadavar Mordechai, Vayaged le'Esther hamalkah, Vatomer Esther, leMelech b'shem Mordechai, Vayivukash hadavar, Vayimotzei, V'yitalu eish, Shnehem al eish, V'yikatev b'sefer, Divrei hayomim, Lifnei hamelech.
Ever since Esther moved into the palace, things just have gotten busier here.
A little too busy, if you ask for my taste. The king now even has the audacity to make me take his royal robes to the dry cleaners at 10 o'clock at night.
Unbelievable. You know, I miss the good old days. We used to stay outside, garden the palace, and watch Netflix all night.
Yeah, the king will curse us if we all let him. You know what? I say we kill him.
Gentlemen,
Oh, Mordecai, we didn't see you there. Sure you heard nothing, right?
I didn't hear anything that wasn't important to hear.
Oh, that's good. That means you didn't hear anything about us plotting to kill the king, right?
Well, he did now, you idiot.
Mordecai did what any loyal uncle, cousin, father figure stand-in would do and informed Esther of the plot to kill the king. Bigtan and Teresh are never to be seen or heard from again.
Hey. That's not totally true. Everyone knows that there's this thing called the multiverse. And you get to have alternate versions of yourself, and that's where we exist.
Fine, Bigtan and Teresh are never to be seen or heard from again in this Shushan universe.
Better.
Mordecai's heroic act was then recorded into the king's official chronicles, and everyone lived happily ever after.
Not so fast. Now, don't forget about Shushan's best prime minister, the one with the most YouTube subscribers and TikTok followers, not to mention the best host on HNN, Hamantashen News Network.
Yes, his name. May it be blotted out like the name of his ancestor Amalek. This loathsome louse. This despicable demon, this repulsive, repugnant rogue. His name was, Harry? No. Herman? No. Howard? No. That contemptible clod's name was Haman. Boo!
how we resent the demented Haman sure is a #1 creep. How we wish they'd not invented Haman, left the slime talk really needs to be clean like us. As the psychopaths go, he should get top rating. Oi, what a schnook that Helmut! Then lots of robbers, some girls and some boys, will blot out his name as we make lots of noise. No one steals like Haman, makes raw deals like Haman. When there's kindness around, no one feels like Haman. Loves to knock a young kid and a frown down. Heartless, ambitious like that. I can think of no Jew who would bow down. No way. Instead, we'll get back at that dirty old rat. No one cheats like Haman, does cruel feats like Haman. No one torments the people he beats like Haman. He's especially rude when it comes to dating. Hear what we say, he's the worst in his day. And then hear us once more, knocking down to the floor. Some pain in the rear, don't you know, can't you hear? As the queen and her people, they know. There's just one man to death, a king of all the land. And his name's H-A-M, H-A-M-E,
Haman,
Your Majesty.
I am beyond lucky to have a best friend like you. You're trustworthy, reliable, some would even say...
Easy on the eyes.
Well, I was going to say confident, but yeah, easy on the eyes. Now, as Prime Minister, please know that everyone should show you the same respect that they show to me.
Let's just make sure they show more respect to me than they do to the buffoon standing next to me. Away with you. I have news to declare. By royal decree of me, Haman, duly noted, Prime Minister of all of Shushan, all residents of Shushan, especially the Jews, must bow down to me whenever I walk by. New decree. New decree. New decree. New decree. New de... Hey, you. Aren't you that Mordecai, the Mordecai the king keeps talking about? Oh, Mordecai this, Mordecai that. Oh, Mordecai saved my life. Oh, Gavald. I'm not quite talking about you.
Yes, I am that Mordecai, and I did get recognized. And you must be Haman. You know, the guy who everyone keeps talking about, Haman this, Haman that lying, cheating, conniving.
Now, hey, quit talking before you say something you might regret. And while you're at it, why aren't you bowing down to me?
Did I mention cruel, villainous, and arrogant? And I will never bow down to you.
וירא המן כי אין מרדכי קורא ומשתחווה לו וימלא המן חמה ויבז בעיניו לשלוח יד במרדכי לבדו כי הגידו לו את מרדכי ויבקש המן להשמיד את כל היהודים אשר בכל מלכות אחשוורוש על מרדכי בחודש הראשון בחודש ניסן בשנת 12 למלך אחשוורוש הפיל פור הוא הגורל לפני המן מיום ליום ומחודש לחודש 12 וחודש אדר.
How dare Mordecai, that crazy old loon, refuse to bow down to me? It'll be a long time before he and his Jews ever think about hassling Haman ever again! Yes, I plotted, yes, I schemed, yes, I've worked out all the details of my plot to rid all Shushan of the Jews. Filled with spite, parasite, I delighted in my prospects. To get rid of them would be worth all the booze. Yes, I'd worked through the night to get ready. In my gut, I knew what would befall. Mordecai and his race, yes, I thrilled for the chase to commence. The pestilence! I'll get them all! I did roar for my Purim, the lots that I would cast. Figure out the date, I'll activate my plan. Toss the dice for advice, set a lien upon Adar, the month in which I'll clean up Shushan, spick and span. Yes, I laughed as I set things in motion. Evil deeds have their own protocol. You define, then devise your design, then revise my intent to pulverize.
Haman was ready. He had worked it all out. His plan was brilliant. Now, all he had to do was convince Ahasuerus. And knowing what a bumbling fool the king really was, Haman was confident in that all would go according to plan.
Then I said to the king, there's a certain people here who disobey you with unmitigated gall. And I think you'll agree, it's a top priority. Just say the word, Your Majesty. I'll get them all!
Ahasuerus thought that what Haman had said made sense. He turned to Haman, looked him in the eye, and said,
Do it! I'll get them all! I'll get them all!
Across the land, orders were issued. In the name of King Ahasuerus, the 13th of Adar would be the day.
I'll get them all! I'll get them all!
Later, when Haman was alone, he laughed and he laughed. He looked out over Shushan, then he shouted out with glee,
I'll get them all! I'll get them all! I'll get them all!
Haman, I just got the message that you were looking for me.
Yes.
My servant said it was urgent. I was in the middle of watching the long-awaited Friends reunion, and then I remembered, I'll be there for you.
Yes, Your Majesty, 'cause you're there for me too. And because we're there for each other, I wanted to inform you that there are, certain people dispersed amongst other people in the provinces of your realm, and, well, their laws are different from the king's laws. It is not in your majesty's best interest to tolerate these disobeyers any longer. So, if it please your majesty, let an edict be drawn for their immediate termination.
Well, of course it pleases me. How dare these people not obey my laws? I leave it to you, Haman, to execute the edict and make it so.
Can you think of anyone more vile, more hateful, or more insidious than Haman? There was only one person who could save the Jewish people now.
Aladdin?
Wrong Disney film.
Simba?
Not even close.
I know. Moana.
Hey, what about Bruno?
We don't talk about Bruno, no. Folks, we've been rehearsing for weeks. Her name is Esther.
Why is it that every news station reports on the same story differently? Headline, HNN, Hamantashen News Network. Haman's approval points are at 90% after launching a plan to destroy Jews. Headline, SNN, Shushan News Network. The legacy of Amalek. Forecasters predict the rise and quick fall of Haman. I wonder if Esther is available. She needs to know about what shenanigans are going on around here.
Hey, Mordecai, I heard the news.
Really? Good. I need you to do something about it.
What can I do?
What can you do? You can go to the king and let him know about it?
I don't think the king will care that much.
Care that much? Of course he will. He doesn't want his whole career to be shadowed by death.
Death? What are you talking about? I was talking about the original Law and Order coming back.
No, Esther. Haman just issued an edict to destroy all of the Jewish people.
So this is about law and order.
Dum-dum.
But going to the king without him sending for me first is never a good idea.
When the king finds out that you're also Jewish, there's no way he'll allow Haman to follow through with his plan.
Okay, I get it. This is big. We need to do something about this. How about I mastermind a little scheme of my own? I can whip up my famous dish and invite the king and you-know-who for dinner.
You do make a mean potato kugel.
Be my guest, bring Haman and wear your best. I've been waiting for a chance to put my cooking to the test. It's It's a feast made for three, just Haman and you and me. Why, it's bound to be delicious. There's no need to look suspicious. After all, you look stressed. You and Haman need a rest. And I'm sure to make your troubles disappear. So come on in at 7 and you'll be in heaven. Be my guest, be my guest, be my guest.
So Haman and the king readied for a royal fling, did as Esther had requested and consumed most everything. There was wine, there was food, and not wanting to be rude, they proclaimed it all so tasty, from the salad to the pastry. Then they sat by the fire till ready to retire. They all hated so to see the evening end. And as they reached the door, Esther said,
"Why not more? Please be my guest. Just come dressed. I'll take care of all the rest. Be my guest once again, be my guest."
That same night the king did read of Mordecai's most noble deed, how Mordecai had intervened to save his life. Haman happened to be inside the palace, hoping for a chance to see the king.
Haman,
The king did query,
there is someone who is very much in need of being honored by the king.
Haman replied,
The answer is so simple. Put them on a horse, parade them through the town, of course.
Oh, Haman, my, please do that for Mordecai. He's the one I wish this done for. He's a special kind of guy. Lead the horse through the town. Come now, why the frown? You can are the very best, and after that we dine with Esther. Don't be late, we've a date. Why, tonight we dine at 8. Just remember last night we were so impressed. I really don't know why, but buddy, you and I will be her guest, be her guest, be her guest, be her guest.
So that night, one more time, Esther had them in to dine. She made sure the scene was set. Yes, Haman's plan she'd undermine. She looked pained and distressed. The king said,
"Are you depressed?"
Esther said,
"It's 'cause I'm Jewish that I'm feeling oh so bluish. You're Haman. I've heard news wants to rid the land of Jews."
But the king said,
"We'll get rid of him instead. Haman, your history, and that's just fine with me. No more a guest. Go away."
That's how Esther saved the
See how fast we read the Megillah? Just need to find our spot.
לכתוב מרדכי את הדברים האלה, וישלח ספרים אל כל היהודים אשר בכל מדינות המלך אחשוורוש, הקרובים והרחוקים, לקיים עליהם להיות עושים את יום 14 לחודש אדר ואת יום 15 בו בכל שנה ושנה.
Esther, how can I ever make it up to you? I'm such a fool for choosing to seek counsel from Haman and for not seeking your support. I made that mistake once with Vashti, and I really don't want to go another year without showering.
Well, it was my uncle, cousin, father figure, Mordecai, who was the real hero.
Well, you're both heroes. Mordecai, how about it? Esther's my queen, and you can be my prime minister.
Now that sounds like happily ever after to me.
Tale as old as time, true as it can be. Haman's mean intent, Mordecai's descent, Esther's bravery.
Mordecai was strong. Esther searched and found, though she was afraid, a difference she made. They turned their world around.
Never does the same, each and every day. We can do it too, all to me and you, to show the world the way.
Tale as old as time, tune as old as song. Though we may be small, we must hear the call to right whatever is wrong.
We must be the ones. We are duty bound with Tikkun Olam. Better times will come. We'll turn the world around. With Tikkun Olam. Better times will come. We'll turn the world around.
So I just wanted to thank and identify everybody up here. So first I want to thank all of our Megillah readers. So we had Rabbi Schwartz, Joe Isaacson, Rabbi Husaid Valencia, and me. And then our Purim players, Andy Altman, Robert Bergman, Trista Bernstein, Katie Burstein, Jeff Burstein, Rebecca Burstein, Melissa Burstein, we get the whole Burstein family, Sarah Ellman, Jace Parker, Emily Randall, Jeremy Shapiro, Michelle Wolf Bloom, and Carol Zabridger. Okay, yes, definitely Carol Zabridger. Did I miss anybody else? Okay, and then we cannot do this without our fabulous production team, so we need to thank Mark, who's back there both streaming and helping with the slides, Dale Bergman, who is running our, what do you call those things? Teleprompter behind us, and of course, Ian Solomon. And I want to really thank Rabbi Schwartz, who has really helped out a lot this year with the Spiel. A lot of the additions that you saw on the slides were through Rabbi Schwartz, and he's been a fabulous partner in crime, so I just want to thank him as well.
And of course, we can't do this without the fabulous and unrivaled music direction of our lovely Cantor Devorah.
Thank you so much. So we're going to do something that we haven't done in a very, very long time. We're going to do a cookie blessing. What? Absolutely. And then we invite you to go out, I believe, into the Onig room, where we actually have a hamantaschen for everybody. So join me in the cookie blessing. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei minei mizonot b'te'avon Hag Purim. And join us on Sunday for the Purim Carnival.
Oh, sorry, Carol, I didn't mean to mess it up. Yeah, you got pink and purple. Got it.